Now, if you want to understand Run from Popo, we first got to learn the rules. The Australian tournament will be a bit different from the Miami and Indianapolis tournaments. The Run from Popo Australia tournament will take place in a real grocery store or a farmer's market. And unfortunately, no paintballs this time. Australia says no. The cop will only have a club. The runner gets points for the total weight of the food he gets across the safe line, and the Popo gets 10 points per club hit and or 50 points per takedown. Simple as that.
What do you think about the militarized police in the city?
Militarized? I haven't been out to the city these days, so I wouldn't know.
Okay, well, I was in a bar with my wife the other day, and 6 cops came in the door with bulletproof vests and dogs. Do you feel like their power is overhanded or heavy-handed?
I've had the experience with them over the years. I used to hate them, but now I believe they're needed because they've got a job to do. Because no one else will do it. They don't. I used to think otherwise. I used to be, hated the cops, as it was when you're a career criminal. But now, it's not the same as it was.
Would you say that there's police corruption out there?
Oh, yeah, there definitely is.
Have you had any experience with police corruption?
I've had some. I used to get a lot of beatings from the police in the city. That's why I don't like going to the city.
Have you ever been beaten with batons?
I've been beaten with phone books. Queensland's a rough place for police.
Would you say that the Sydney cops are more professional than the Queensland cops?
Oh, no way in the world. Down here, they are pretty hopeless.
Would you say it's an ego problem?
Possibly, but it's more as... It's about control. They feel they're in charge, even though they're not actually in charge, they only enforce the laws. They feel they are in charge, and that's the problem with the police force. You've got to sympathise with the people. You can't just sit there and treat the person because you've come out because you think he's a crim. He might not be, you know what I mean? He could be, you can't treat people like animals because you don't know if that person is in the wrong or the right. Like, for instance, this case, it was a break and enter, a neighbour dispute. We've been disputing things, him leaving the gate open and letting my dog out, taking my food deliveries and stuff, and it got out of hand. My part is, the minor part of it is I got really drunk, like 3 bottles of spirits, and stewing on it, and I went to go and confront him. He wasn't home, and I've hit too hard and knocked his door open, and I've gone in and I'm like, well, he takes my stuff, I'll take his stuff. But that's not the worst of it. When he come back from work, police were investigating his house. He came while the police were there and tried to attack me with a chainsaw.
Oh my God.
Sliced my door while the police were there. I just went to court for that the other day as a witness, on the stand against him. He got found guilty on intimidation for that.
How much time did you have to spend in jail over this one?
Oh, actually, I got lucky on this one. I spent 3 weeks and then got bail and then got sentenced to a community sentence, a community order.
Is there any time that you feel like you were arrested where you feel like you didn't really deserve it and maybe they were just discriminating you?
Well, most of the stuff I've been done for, I've done. Like, I put my hand up for anything I do. I have been harassed a lot by the police in New South Wales, and that due to my past record and that, I've been chased out of suburbs saying, we don't want you here, and they've made me move out of a suburb because they didn't want me there. Due to live there where I was paroled to this place, and they chased me out of there, and they didn't want me to live there. Didn't have to go too far, but they didn't want me in North Sydney. Certain areas are like that. They're very cliquey, especially the North Shore area and the upper class areas.
So once you have a record, you're pretty much, it's like wearing this, you're labeled.
You're labeled for life. You might as well tattoo your inmate number.
I mean, a lot of people say that poverty is the grandfather of crime. Would you say that's true?
To be honest, there's a couple of theories on this that I have. It's not so much what the police do, it's this country. It's a lot like Florida.
Yeah.
We were brought up. We were built from convicts. The first police force were the 12 best behaved convicts. So you gotta understand, Australia. You see, crime is in its blood, because the white Australians were built from convicts. So yeah, it's not so much what they can do, because they tried their best. It's the people themselves who got to want to do something about changing themselves before anything changes. You know what I mean? It's people. It's not always out of poverty. I did a lot of the stuff I did because I was bored. You won't hear that a lot though.
No, you're brutally honest. I'll give you that.
Poor, especially in Australia, people like to pack it on, and I'm like, straight up, I did everything I did because I wanted to, not because I had no choice or anything. I did it because I wanted to.
So
I lived life.
the Run from Popo tournament is going to be up in Parramatta.
Yeah.
Do you have a name that you would like to use for the tournament?
Bua is the nickname for Bo, which is short for my name. My name's Bobby, by the way, and Anaru is, well, my last name in Maori. That's our tribal last name, because I'm part Maori. So that's why I use that. I'd prefer to use that one as like a stage name. I'm going to be a pro wrestler, and that's my wrestling name.
American sport Run from Popo is coming to Australia. Run from Popo Australia is a simulated police chase for actual cash prizes. Run from Popo Australia tournament rules are similar to the Run from Popo Miami, Florida rules. Qualification for Run from Popo Australia is similar to the Miami tournament as well, which you can watch on YouTube. Police must have been real law enforcement, military or security to be eligible for the Australian tournament. The runners must have an arrest on their record to qualify for the tournament. We also advocate filming the cops for accountability, and we prefer runners to have video evidence of their claims. And the same goes for the police. Video evidence will rescue the truth in court. We are currently accepting applications for the Run from Popo Australian tournament on our Facebook fan page, Run from Popo Australia Interviews. Alternatively, you can contact us through our email address, channel62@gmail.com.